Good evening, Fins Nation. Welcome to the most positive football show on all of YouTube, the Fins Bandwagon. And today we're going to talk about all the people who are still welcome on the bandwagon because they've been with me and my dad, Fish Tank Hank, all season, and those that are going to be hanging on by a little thread. But welcome to the show. We really appreciate you joining us. Justin, John, I'm waiting for Steve and Rob to probably join. They're just finishing up their show.
What's up, folks?
They just had a great show. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight because we're now past the halfway point. And the two most positive Dolphins fans in the world made a prediction before the season started, going back to June and July. And you want to know what? Everyone's going to eat crow tonight. Isn't that? Is that going to happen?
Yeah.
So the floor is yours.
I've been putting some things out on Twitter and getting some receipts, cashing in some receipts on people lately.
Yeah. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? We're going to talk about all the talking heads and all the eat crow that they're doing, but I want you have not had the chance. So like we always like to start the show, you got to be at another home game. You got to enjoy it. You got to see a statement game by the Dolphins. So give us your recap because you were there. I'm sure you had a fantastic time. What was it like?
Oh, it was unbelievable. First of all, my wife let me take the new car down, but we ran into an issue because we forgot our parking passes in the other car. So they didn't want to let us in.
Oh, God.
So the police were really not very nice, to say the least.
Oh,
so I said, okay. So I went where somebody else had some common sense, and I said, look, I'm obviously in a brand new car. I left my parking pass in my other vehicle. I have season passes. Can you just let me in so I can go to the game I've already paid for? And the guy goes, go ahead. So that's how I got in, just so you know. It wasn't that easy to get in, but hey, I got lucky. I went from one spot to another till I found somebody with common sense is all I did, and it worked out.
You know what's nice, though? But you know what's funny, though? A couple of years ago, they would have been begging you to come into the stadium. Now Now it's a prime ticket. A couple of years ago, the seats were empty. Ever used to watch those Dolphins games back in 2018, 2019? The stadium looked, all you saw was blue. You didn't see white. You saw blue seats. That's all you saw.
It's locked down now.
Yeah.
So
tell us how it was.
The game itself was amazing. I mean, I didn't like, the only thing I didn't like was the initial kickoff.
Oh.
And I didn't like the fact that Chubb just took off and ran down the sidelines on that one on us.
Yeah.
So those were the two things that I didn't like. And here's the positive spin for you. Our running backs, all three of them scored. The three of them scored. Ingold, Wilson, and how do you say his last name again?
Who, Mostert?
Yeah, Mostert. There you go, Mostert.
Wait. When you were in the stadium,
I don't want to mess it up.
When you were in the stadium, did you hear Bobby screaming at the top of his lungs like a little when Ingold scored a touchdown? His boy that he's been praising all offseason finally showed up, and he was so proud that on Twitter today when he showed the offensive players of the week and their stats, the guy who had the highest result was Alec Ingold. He was ahead of Patrick Mahomes. He was getting like a little kid. It was so cute.
So anyway, the game was electrifying. Yeah. I mean, they just kept making plays, and Tua, again, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of stuff since Marino. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's throwing the ball like Marino. I'm just saying the wins that are coming and the way the team can come back, whereas only in a certain amount of time, Marino would just zing, zing, zing and come back. But we haven't had a team that can come back like this in a long, long time. That's not since the 70s when the undefeated 50th anniversary Miami Dolphins that we're talking about, as a matter of fact.
Well, let's talk, and now that you brought them up before we continue with the game, let's just take a quick moment to celebrate the fact that There's only one team in Perfectville. And last night, and if you and I said this a couple days ago, people don't like when I bring up other games, but I said to somebody, I said it last night on overtime in the comments. I said it during the postgame show that the Eagles are going to be in a trap game. They were favored by 11. And I don't know if you know this. You never get too high on your britches. The owner, Jeffrey Lurie, I don't know if you would know this. He was in the parking lot tailgating before the game with some fans, and they were already singing, "We are the champions." You don't do that after 8 games. They curse themselves there, and they're going to actually falter the rest of the year. It was beautiful. So
I don't know. I go off shooting my mouth off, so I don't know.
But you're not an owner of a team. You're not an owner of a team. But it was nice to see. You want to know what? No team, what they did back in 72, it will never be done. It's so hard to do in this parody of the NFL. It ain't gonna happen.
So anyway, I do have an MVP of the game that I want us to have an MVP each week of the game.
But don't ruin the surprise that Jason Sanders is your MVP of the game. Come on.
Oh man.
Can I ask you a question? Was there any wind? Was there any wind?
Huh?
What angle are you sitting on when he's kicking? I'm just curious. When you're at the game, what angle were you on?
Oh, I can't see him when he kicks the ball. I don't even look. I watch the scoreboard.
Because you're on the field. Does he seem do you ever watch him? Does he seem dejected? How does he seem, or do you just seem? Because I think literally we'll talk. I want to be fully positive. And McDaniel did say that he thinks he hasn't given him a reason to be worried about Jason Sanders, that he's going to fix it. But let's hope he can. I think he has one more game to fix it in Houston. Because if he goes on the road, he won't be able to afford to do this on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before they lost it. Yeah, I remember that, John. And you know what? By the way, breaking news. The night another Melendez is in the comments today, and he actually said Tua, and Bobby picks Herbert. That's why we're going to like Harrison during this show, right? What you were saying. So what was your MVP of the game? You want to get that off your chest already?
My MVP of the game had 119 rushing yards out of 17 carries.
Yeah.
7 yards per carry average. Found the end zone for touchdown.
Whoa.
2 receptions for 24 yards. And that is Mr. Jeff Wilson.
I got to correct you there. He couldn't find the end zone. Tyreek Hill was guiding him into the end zone. How cool was that, eh? Have you ever seen anything like that? How cool is that your wide receiver is, come with me. I'll just follow me.
I'll show you where the door is.
I've been there before.
Jeff Wilson was a freaking beast.
Yeah, he's amazing. Honestly,
he blew it up.
And honestly,
I'll tell you, I was happy with the whole running game that we had. It was phenomenal. I haven't seen Miami run the ball like that in years. I was like, wow, this is a different team.
Yeah.
So I was impressed by that. The other part that I was impressed by was Miami was really stout against the run. They were stout. I mean, really. But the negative side of that was Brissett just took off for big yardage. You know, we got to be able to stop the running quarterback. We got to get after that. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we're
going to work on that.
We'll work on that, but you want to know what?
Texans.
Yeah, but you want to know, we'll talk about each element of the game, and we're going to go through the defense and the offense and all that, because I only want to focus on the positive. I'm really going to be – I'm not even going to bring up that guy anymore. I'm not even going to bring it up, because I think we really need to focus on what we're looking – because really I want to focus on what's happening in the second half of the season and how we're really going to continue to grow and all that. But no, for me, one thing that I want to get your opinion. Let's start with the real positive, okay? I really want to focus on and then we'll just make our way through. I watch – when I'm working, and I'm just every morning, and I watch the talking heads and see what they're saying. You guys had a conversation on Saturday about who's the MVP of this team. Is it Tua or is it Tyreek? Who has a better chance? On Monday morning, every talking head was talking about 2 players, whether it's on ESPN, whether it's on Fox Sports, anywhere. It is about Mahomes, and it's about the player that you and I said was going to come out of his shell this year, and he was a coach away from correcting it. That is number Tua. You were there. To watch him with those throws, the Tyreek Hill fade, the pass to Sherfield in the end zone, the pass to Waddle going out of bounds. What this number man, yes, acknowledge me, Miami, if we're WWE fans. But honestly, what he's done with his accuracy, his ball placement. I made a comment before also. You know what I was most impressed by? This, and I said it on Real Talk Fins Talk before. I've said it in the comments. He's no longer playing hero ball. He'll only eat hero sandwiches because when he took that bad snap from Connor Williams, what did he do? He laid down. He knew he could possibly get sacked. He was white as a feather the entire game. He never let Morstead get on that field. No sacks against him. Tua is playing MVP level football. Beginning of the year, I was hoping he was going to be a Pro Bowler. You and I, he is in the MVP conversation with every single talking head who we are taking receipts on. Give me your feedback on what your thoughts are with Tua, who is 7-0 on games that he started and games that he's finished. There's only one right now, after Jalen Hurts lost last night, there's only one quarterback left that hasn't lost a game that he started and a game that he's finished. And I promise you, no one predicted that would be numero uno. So give me your thoughts on Tua so far and what's impressed you so much about him this season.
Well, Tua is on a level of you can talk MVP. Before I was leaving the stadium, everybody was chanting MVP.
Were you one of them? Were you one of them?
Well, what do you think?
Of course.
You're throwing like that. Like I said, 3 touchdowns, 3 games in a row, no interceptions. The guy's beating it up like averaging over 285 a game. I mean, I don't have all the numbers in my head, but I got some of them.
I'll put it to you this way. He didn't break Marino's record of 3 games of 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but I'll give you a great stat you're going to appreciate. He is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 3 consecutive games of 3 touchdowns and a passer rating of over 130 in 3 consecutive games. You know how hard that is to do? His passer rating was over 130 in 3 consecutive games.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's just amazing. And people were talking all this smack, and here we are now. Yeah. Hello. Look at our man go, just like everybody thought he would. Yeah. He's healthy now. He's showing what he can do. He's putting the ball on the money.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's everything's stacked against them right now, against our opponents. We have nothing to lose and everything to win right now. Miami's back has been against the wall long enough. I actually, looking at the schedule, I'm looking at them coming with quite a few more wins, in my own opinion. You said you want to talk about that a little later about
we're going to go through all the other games in the second half.
So we can talk about that too.
Yeah. Well, so Tua, like I said, the one thing that was amazing is I'm going to veer back now to the wide receivers and we'll make our way in. The wide receiver core of that game, the top wide receiver in that game was not Waddle and it wasn't Hill. It was Sherfield.
Absolutely.
And how amazing is that? People talk to how Tyreek is a superstar, elite MVP. He should be the offensive player of the year. He's phenomenal. But what Tua showed in that game is if you give him a running game and you give him the middle of the field and you give him the edges, he will get the ball to any single guy and make them look fantastic. His anticipation to get the ball where he needs to get it and his reads is phenomenal. And he's making Trent Sherfield look like a superstar.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah, but you know what else? Just like John says, the O-line has been...
I haven't gone to the O-line yet. One thing at a time, Dad.
Hey, they're talking to us. You got to talk back to them.
I know. I'm kidding.
The O-line, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. No sacks. No sacks.
Yeah.
No sacks.
You want to know what? I told you when Robert Jones came in, I talked about Robert Jones, and Rob Dolphin Thirsty gave me a plug. Don't forget to go check out his website, guys. The best articles, the best vlogs, everything. You want to learn anything Miami Dolphins, you go to dolphinthirsty.com.
I got you, Steve.
Okay. You know what I mean? Robert Jones is a full upgrade to Liam Eichenberg. I hope he rests up. I hope he gets better. But Robert Jones working with Teron Armstead Connor Williams in the middle with Shell, who we got off the street. No one wanted him. What he's doing at right tackle. Austin Jackson is going to have to wait in line. Do not touch this O-line. The O-line should not be changed at all. How clean they were, that game was phenomenal. It was like I swear to God, Moses would have hired that O-line to part the Red Sea as he was heading to Mount Sinai. I swear to God, the amount of space that Jeff Wilson, and you gave credit to Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert had 8 yards a carry. The guy didn't have two carries. He had 8 yards a carry. You know what Kareem Hunt had that game? 6 for 9. Nick Chubb, he had 60-something or 70 yards, but one of those was on one play where he got 33. The rest of the time, he was averaging 2-3 yards a carry. We average over 7.5 yards a carry. They average 2 or 3. What that O-line and what that offense is doing, and the only area of offense which we don't talk about much is the tight ends. But you want to know what? The tight ends are a manifestation of the offense. They're there to support the receivers and the running game. And we all said this. You said this. I said this. You give Tua and this offense a running game. Every team, I don't care who you are, should be terrified. Why? Before this 3-game winning streak, Hank, we were averaging 17 points a game. You know how hard it is to get to 25 points a game? We've done it in 3 games because we're scoring 30-something, 30-something, 30-something. You kept it close. I said this was going to be a statement game, and this offense can literally score on a dime. It's phenomenal to watch.
They can score with anybody. I'm confident in that.
Yeah.
It's our defense has to do their job too. And this game, they did their job. Yeah. They did their job dang good.
Yeah.
Especially with Byron Jones out.
Yeah. Hammer time. Who you daddy 503? Steve. I want to just reach out to everyone. John, Justin, everyone, Dawson Thirsty. Everyone just keep on making your comments. We're going to get to all of them. We won't miss them. We're always looking at our right eyes to see what's going on. Don't forget to smash, like, and subscribe.
What's up from Oregon, who daddy?
We all love you. So offense is phenomenal. Now let's talk about the defense. We wanted some sort of defensive stand. We wanted pressure. The one thing I didn't see during the game, which was such a pleasure to see, Hank. Yeah. I'll let you talk about the defense and what you really enjoyed, and then I'll give my turn. They were rushing 4. They were not rushing. They were not zero blitzing at all.
No.
It was so nice to see.
No.
What impressed
you? There was a combination of players making it happen. It was pretty close to a complete game for me. Yeah. I mean, and defense was stopping the run. I was shocked how well they did against Chubb. I thought Chubb was going to be our issue. Yeah. No, they pretty much, for the most part, shut him down.
Landon Roberts.
One breakaway, though. He did get a breakaway.
Landon Roberts made a tackle. I've never seen him make a tackle like that in my life. He met him, and he went, boom, and he proved his worth there. It was just the Baker, Van Ginkel, but you want to know what? Chubb was getting to the quarterback. Ingram was great. How Steve was just talking about on the previous show on Real Talk Fins Talk, how he has the highest PFF of any other outside rusher. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb proved his worth. But you want Zach Sealer punching out that ball. But the superstars of that defense on that defensive line and linebacking core, you better pay him now. Because if he continues like this, Christian Wilkins was eating. He was eating. And the only thing I felt bad for him on, because I don't understand this. You've been watching this game for a long time, Hank. How the heck is that a roughing the passer? Where the heck is he supposed to land? The guy is coming at the quarterback. What was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to do.
They gave him 3 points, but he did the right thing. But where was he supposed to go? He grabbed the quarterback. Where was he supposed to go?
Yeah.
Honestly,
that was a bogus call all the way.
Yeah,
we
was
know it.
Crap.
But let's be on the positive side.
I am. No, but that's what I'm saying. He was eating all game, and this defense knew they had to prove themselves. But what's amazing, and what I think they have to figure out now, is that their defense at home has been so much better than it has been on the road. They need to take whatever's happening at home and bring it on the road. They just need to take it with them, find that recipe that works for them, and just make it work. On the secondary, what's his name? Keon Crossan went out. Whether it was Justin Bethel, whether it was Darth Cater, whether it was Howard, who did his job, whether it was Holland, whether it was Rowe, even the secondary all banged up. They didn't give up any really big plays. There was nothing special. And I want to give a point again to this defense. This defense has yet to give up. It's amazing. I want to go look at the other teams. Maybe someone could look this up for me. But we have not given up a 100-yard rusher on as a running back. We've yet to give one up. And I don't foresee I don't see us McCaffrey or Eckler, because we already faced the so-called one of the top 2 running backs in the league in Chubb. We made him, we destroyed him. I'm not worried about him, you know? I'm making my pillow next time soft as the landing. Yeah, I know it's a little ridiculous. These referees and these calls are a little much, but
yeah, it's been a little crazy this year so far for that. But
you know what's nice
right.
though? We were waiting for that statement game, and you want to know what? They called up this bye and they smashed it with an exclamation point. And you want to know what? They said, we're not going to this bye with any sense of any sense. And we want to go in and we want to be number 1. And you want to know what? They played like a number 1 team. And people are saying, well, they couldn't beat Buffalo. Buffalo was a fluke. You want to know what? Buffalo blew it again. Buffalo is making mistakes. You want Miami is playing mistake-free football. We talked about a couple of games making adjustments with no penalties. They're not getting the penalty. They didn't have any. When's the last time the O-line got an offside? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do have to say, so we also take a moment, and I know it's a big thing, but thank God we signed Chubb because Ogba's out. And I also want to mention, because you don't know about this, but Justin probably knows, but Ben Steele, who's one of our other defensive players in the practice squad, he got poached by the Browns, so I guess that was a little bit of revenge.
Yes, I know that.
They were a little revenge for the Browns. They took someone off of our practice squad.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, you want to know what? Our defense, we have depth at all these positions. Yes, our secondary has a lot of young guys, but they're playing hard and they're playing strong. On the special teams, all I've learned is that you just need to kick it out of the end zone. Don't give them any chance to run, because when we give them a chance to run, we can't have Justin Bethel and Clayton Fegelim. We don't have Stephen Carter there yet. We only have 1 or 2 great special team guys, and you have on the returns, and they can't be everywhere. We can't be relying on Jason Sanders. So just play smart football. And you want to know what? I'm going to make a crazy prediction here, because he did it this game, McDaniel. If he has any sense that Jason Sanders is not sure of himself, when we were on our own 35 last game, he went for it on 4th. Keep going for it. If the defense is working right now, go for it. Because
I'll tell you, that gives me a heart thumper every time he's doing that, and we're in our own territory.
I know.
I'll tell you.
But now that you have just
me heart failure.
Whoa!
I'm glad that they've turned out so far, though.
But but you notice who they give it. Yeah, but you know who he gave the ball to, eh? He gave it to our thumper, Jeff Wilson.
Yeah,
will get you every yard. They will get you every yard you need. It's
he's my MVP this week.
Oh. You want to know why he's my MVP? Because if you go listen to his post-game shows, he's on this bandwagon. I have to figure out who I'm kicking off the bandwagon to make room for Jeff Wilson. Because if you go listen to his post-game shows, he is so positive. He loves being part of this team. We don't
kick anybody off the bandwagon.
No. They're in the back. Sorry, the back of the bandwagon. He's sitting up front with you.
Damn right, Hank.
Excuse me, you're in the RV and attached to the bandwagon, my friend, Mr. Producer.
I know. I'm just duct taped to the back ladder that you always see back there.
No, you're driving up there with me.
Trying to sail in the wind a little
the bandwagon has about 6 or 7 seats across next to the driver. Anyway, no. Honestly, though, it's the man. You can listen to him. I think he felt insulted, and I'm telling you, you think he's played his best game yet? Wait till he's back in San Francisco. They picked Christian McCaffrey over him. He is going to shove it down the 49ers' throat when we get to San Francisco. We're now at the halfway point of the show because we know we have to cut off around 5 to 9 because we have a great show coming up that I got to go troll and drive Josh Wingate and Josh Kimmel a little nuts. Don't forget to watch their show. After ours, we got 3 great shows. Tuesday night is the best night to watch the Fins Talking Sports Network because you got back to back. You better not leave this channel.
Saturday is the best day. Fins Talk Today with Fish Tank Hank and Bobby Melendez.
Whoa. Hey, there's only one show. There's actually 2 shows, but you take a break in the middle. We give you constant Fins talk. Come on, Steve. Come on, Rob. Anyways, hey, I love you guys all. It's phenomenal network. I'm
reading you over here, digging. I got you. Yeah. You're right. Rankin, you're right, too.
Ooh, suck-ups.
Second half of the game. Who Daddy? Saturdays are the best shows. Bang.
Yeah,
you can
because
drag me on a skateboard behind the wagon.
Yeah, because of the comments.
Right on.
Someone's driving you guys nuts in the comments throughout that.
Bobby is chill.
My evil brother over there. My evil brother. So now we're halfway through the show. Let's talk about the next few. Are what we expect now, Hank. I'm not going to go game by game, win, loss. I'll save that for Finn's talk today. I need to give you and Bobby some material to talk about. Let's talk about the second half of the season. The second half of the season. What our expectations are. We're 7-3.
Okay.
Okay.
We're 7-3.
We're now 7-3.
Okay.
What record? What record? Let's start off with the record, and then we'll talk about some pinpoints of the game. What record would you be satisfied with to not say this was a letdown in the second half?
13-4 is what I'd say. We have to come out 13-4. That's where I felt like
where's your loss?
Come out this year.
Where's your loss?
It started.
Which loss would you accept?
I would accept the Bills' loss.
Okay.
Up in Bills country, it's freezing cold, and there's a game I worry about, and that's the Patriots. Because the Patriots, same thing. Up there in that nasty condition.
Aren't you happy you got Wilson, though? Aren't you happy? That's a Wilson game. That's a Wilson game all game.
That's a Wilson game, but
because if you look what
Tyreek's used to playing in bad weather, too.
I hope Mike McDaniel, because I know this guy doesn't take a day off, was watching the Washington Commanders last night. What the Washington Commanders did in that cold weather is they shoved it down the Eagles' throat. When you have a power running game and you have a guy who can run and get through what we love to call the trenches, you can win football games. You can win football games. And that's what we need to do. I believe we have a stronger running game than the teams we're going to be facing because we got a two-headed monster. We have a two-headed monster out there. We have a two-headed monster in the middle. And I think that's what's going to give us those chances. So 13-4. I'll be happy with 12-5. I believe that 12-5 will give us this division, will give us the division. And I think 13-4 will give us the conference. I think we need, honestly, right now, I will be disappointed. I will always be on the bandwagon. I will never be disappointed on as long as they give effort. But they deserve a home playoff game. I don't want to start this on the road because if you remember the last two times we made the playoffs, where our producer El Jefe will tell us that we've lost games on the road. When is the last time? I cannot remember in my brain when's the last time we had a home playoff game. I don't remember. Anyone want to tell me what year was it? So
can I just say, because you mentioned me, I just want to say you're absolutely right. I have said that, that the Dolphins had to win a game in order for me to be satisfied. But those teams that won or that got to the playoffs and lost that first game, that's a different team than this football team. This team believes in themselves. Fish Tank Hank asked me 2 Saturdays ago if I was still comfortable with my prediction at 10-7. And I've been meaning to tell him this because I told you this on post game.
Yeah.
I believe it's now no longer what my original prediction was 10-7. I have them at 12-5 right now.
Yeah.
So I upgraded it for you, brother. Fish Tank.
I haven't moved.
Yeah.
I haven't moved. By the way, I've never moved from 12-5.
You have not moved. And Hank has from the beginning. I mean, obviously Evan has, but Evan's kind of delusional. Where Fish Tank though is he's talking about today. He posted on Twitter 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. He had that at the beginning of the year. Brett yesterday said, if you look at the way the numbers are going, and Evan, you might know better than me the exact numbers. I don't, but it was 4,000 something yards, 44 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. If Tua does that, that's crazy. And again, it's 2 different Tuas. After the injury, before the injury, but after the injury, he's been on cloud 9.
Yeah.
This is a different Dolphins football team. I want to see him with home field advantage too, but I have confidence the Dolphins are definitely going to win a game in the playoffs.
Thank you, 100%. Daddy.
100%.
Oh, you don't have to call me Daddy. Oh, you're talking about the guy in the comment. My bad.
No, but I honestly, if you look at the stats of Tua, I think he's only I think he has 18 touchdowns, and I think Mahomes has 25. If Tua plays those 3 games, 21, 24, 27, the way he's been balling, he would have just as many touchdowns, and I think he'd be pretty close to Mahomes in terms of his overall stats. What he's done in this season has been absolutely phenomenal. There is no, I will tell you this. I don't know about you, Hank. I don't know about you, Bobby, because I know you've been joining. I don't know about anyone in the comments. I'm like a little kid every single time there's a Dolphins game. I go back to that nervous kid who's expecting the Dolphins to give me a reason to cry and to say to me, and to say every game. And then when the kickoff happened and they ran back, I go, oh my God. But then I realized, wait, Tua's not on the field yet. Tyreek's not on the field yet. That's what's different. I have not felt like this. I am 40 years old. I have not felt like this since Marino.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Season, when Miami, it seems like they're going to let this team score the defense. I haven't felt nervous about a loss. I think, I never feel like Miami's going to give up a game right now. And Jeff Wilson, you guys were talking about him. What an addition to this football team.
Oh, my God.
He's the reason this offense
I got to ask a question here, guys. I know you guys get off the tracks, but Steve and John, who do you think they're going to lose to? You got the Texans, you got the Niners, the Chargers, the Bills, the Packers, the Patriots, and the Jets. Who are they going to lose? Who are we losing 3 games to?
I think people are predicting that they're going to eat. If I had to predict, people are going to say San Francisco, Buffalo, and New England.
I think that's
well, fair. I want to hear from them. Who's going to lose, guys? John?
Evan, you have it 12-5 as well right now. What's your answer? The 2 teams.
My answer is if they're gonna lose 2 games. I'm saying because I'm hedging my bets. I think they can win every game. If they're gonna blow a game, honestly, I have a feeling the only game you're gonna be shocked. I have a feeling that they could lose a game out west. I think they're gonna beat Buffalo. The one game I think there might be a letdown because of the amount of people in the crowd and the noise, and because of where they might be in a couple weeks. The game that might be the hardest for me to watch because just who he is going to be December. Is going to be Christmas Day. I don't know why. It's the game.
I heard that earlier.
It's not going to be the Jets at home, folks. It's not going to be the Jets.
No, the Packers could have a weird game. With Aaron Rodgers, I think could have a weird game if he continues. If Aaron Rodgers comes to Miami on a 3 or 4 game winning streak, and they're making it back, and then they know they have to chase Minnesota and a playoff spot, it could be a very close game. I think they can still win it, but that's the game that fares. It's the one.
I actually only see the Jets winning about 4 more games.
Yeah.
For everybody that's voting for the Jets that are jumping on that.
Yeah. It's the one. Honestly, I think they might. I really do believe that McDaniel is going to be the first coach to outcoach Shanahan because he has Jeff Wilson. If it was still Chase Edmonds, and remember, I don't know if you guys remember the last time we were in San Francisco, we beat the crap out of them, and they still had a great defense. It wasn't Jimmy G, but you want to know why? People keep on referring to Tua as a version of Jimmy G. I think No, I know. I never said that. Tua's heard that too. Trust me, Tua's taking receipts. Tua in warm weather. I'm not worried. It's warm weather. San Diego,
he's
San
done
Francisco?
Taking receipts. He's cashing.
I know.
He's cashing checks right now.
By the way, I'm hoping cashing checks today on Twitter all day.
By the way, can anyone convince the NFL to not make the Bills game a flex game on a Saturday night? Because I would really like to drive down to Buffalo first thing Sunday morning, and I do not want it to be a flex game because I can't go on the Saturday. So let's hope and pray I can take a 5-hour drive to Buffalo to sit in the frigid area of that boring town, that cesspool, that toxic dump of Buffalo, and go scream Dolphins. Have you ever been to Buffalo? Oh my God! Anyways, they have good wings. That's all they have. Anyways, let's talk about the next few games. So Davis Mills, it doesn't bother me because I go shopping at Davis Mills' mall every time I'm in Florida a couple times a year. I'm not worried about him. The Texans, we're not worried about. I have zero concerns because even if they run, Davis Mills runs, I'm not worried about them. Going out west to play San Francisco, to play San Diego, look at San Diego. San Diego, and I think Bobby would agree with this and Hanky would agree with this, they are a certain version of the Dolphins of last year where he doesn't have all his weapons. And what Justin Herbert's showing, they showed this beautiful passing through on Sunday night. He has not scored. He's supposed to be this phenomenal athlete. He is, but he's not leading his team. I don't care what anybody says. He's a phenomenal athletic talent, but he's been in the league for 3 years, and he has an average 500 record. So like Josh Allen. like a Lamar Jackson, like Kyler, all these superstar so-called quarterbacks that are supposed to be these phenomenal athletes. You're supposed to be the engine that could. And what ended up hurting Buffalo, as an example, on Sunday night is instead of relying on Singletary, they relied on Josh Allen. Because I said to myself, if they're smart, that Josh Allen has too big of an ego and the Bills have too big of an ego because people have built him up, instead of taking the safety and kicking the ball downfield and make Kirk Cousins beat you again, you tried to be cute and couldn't take a snap. And you want to know what? So for me, all these athletes that think they're better what they are, Tua knows what he has around them and uses it. These other superstar quarterbacks try to do it all by themselves. And you want to know what? Look at the other rest of the NFL. The Justin Fields, the Lamar Jackson. Tua knows what his skill set is. He is not an athletic guy. He's a smart, intelligent quarterback. Drew Brees.
Yeah, but
I'm just using it.
Let's not gloss over everything too quickly now, because Herbert, he's missing
San Diego. Oh shit.
Of his
LA.
offense.
Sorry, LA.
You're right.
I know.
Hank's right.
They'll always be the San Diego Chargers.
Hey,
Hank's right.
I still gotta say,
the fact of the matter is, our quarterback, is playing. He's living up. He's excelling on expectations.
Whoa! He's not your quarterback yet.
First of all, he's a Miami Dolphins quarterback. Evan, shut your ass up. He's a Dolphins quarterback. I have higher expectations, and he's living up to them. He's excelling at them.
Can I ask you
90% of their offense is out.
Can I ask you a question, Bobby? I'm
Yes,
asking you a question, Hank. There's a lot of talking heads, and a lot of people were saying, do you think, how much of a drop-off, because there's a lot of people who have said this, that the offense and the scheme is what's pushing. So Tua always plays hurt. I don't want to hear about Justin Herbert. Drop fucking Herbert, whatever. I want to just clarify this. Do you think that it's really Tua making the difference? Because there's a few people that have said, I'm talking about Miami beat writers who are involved in the Miami Dolphins every single day and write about them every day, that the drop-off would not be significant if a 100% Teddy Bridgewater was in there playing the exact same scheme in the exact same offense. So in your opinion, Hank, and Bobby, you could say it because you've joined the show, because you love being on the bandwagon, what percentage of, if you had to split it up, scheme, offensive weapons, Tua, what percentage do you give each element of the offense to make it run? Who is the more significant part? Is it the scheme with McDaniel, the weapons, or Tua?
It's all of it.
But
yes.
what? No. But what I'm saying is that people are saying that if Teddy was in there,
can I answer?
Drop down. There you go.
Let me just answer. And if Hank,
I did bring it up, Steve. I know. I shoot myself.
I think it was Tua. I think it's Tua because I know what you're saying. But Tua's been making it happen. Bridgewater went in there and he sucked, and I don't like Bridgewater to begin with. So you shouldn't ask me a Bridgewater question. I'm just going to dog Bridgewater.
You have tape of it. So scheme, right? Scheme, players. Tua is excelling in this scheme with this coaching staff, with these players.
Yeah.
You ask, okay, is there going to be a major drop off if Teddy was healthy and playing whatever? We had evidence of that already. We saw Teddy in this offense. He didn't fit the scheme. You know, he had big plays with Tyreek, but he didn't fit the scheme. The offense wasn't scoring points. Tua post-injury, post-concussion, whatever you want to call it, the team is scoring points. So, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a scheme. It doesn't matter if he's, quote-unquote, what people say, a system quarterback, which was on Digging in the Trenches, where Sean Williams, who was a great guest with Justin and I, was talking about system. Listen, he is excelling in the system. He's excelling under Mike McDaniel, who's growing as a head coach before our eyes. And with Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and now you add an extra ingredient to this top three offense with Jeff Wilson. So that's all that matters.
No.
He could be succeeding because of the scheme. It doesn't matter. He's succeeding.
It could be any one of them.
But Bobby, has he proven to you this season? Because he's proven it to me a long time ago. But has he proven to you that if he had the exact same setup and the weapons of Kansas City, or the weapons of Minnesota, or the weapons of Buffalo, would he still be successful, or in a different scheme? Do you think he's talented, or do you think it's truly the scheme? I think he's transferable because he's so godforsaken accurate. Like, he literally,
accuracy is always he's always been accurate. That's been key. But we've seen how it has been. Listen, I'm sorry, Hank, 1 second, sir. I was just saying.
All right.
I was just saying, we've seen how he is not Chan Gailey, Chan Gailey and so forth and so forth. But we see the difference with under Mike McDaniel, Brian, Darrell Bevell and company. Yeah. Look at Russell Wilson with Seattle and Russell Wilson with Denver. Okay, that's two different quarterbacks. And Tua's already been accurate. We knew that, but now
he wasn't great last year either. Russell Wilson, he was already faltering.
But it's a major drop off. And I'd say to me, if you put Tua with Denver, he's not doing what he's doing in Miami. But because McDaniel has put an offense in place that is built onto, and he said that. He said, "Look, I'm bringing the Shanahan offense, but I'm not going to mold the player around this scheme. I'm going to mold the scheme around the player." And it's about Yak, talking about Yak. First, you add Tyreek Hill. You already got Jalen Waddle. You got Mike Gesicki. He was not much of an impact, but whatever. You got Alec Ingold. Now you added Jeff Wilson. Tua, under these conditions, with this staff, with this playbook, with this scheme, it doesn't freaking matter what he would do in Green Bay or wherever the fuck. He's doing it, in Miami. And he's doing it under this scheme, and he's succeeding. And that's what you want. As a Dolphin fan, you're seeing the expectations, and he's excelling at it.
He is excelling past exceeding Hall of Famer Breeze right now, okay? That's how good Tua is right now in this system. He is better than Breeze. Everybody was comparing him to Breeze before he came out. Well, he's doing better.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys all saw this. Maybe someone posted on Twitter. I hope it was his. Should we be wishing Tua a mazel tov? I think he's a father now. Is that? I don't want to be stupid.
He's
a dad now.
Dad.
Married and cool? Has a baby.
Isn't that cool? Mazel tov to Tua. See, most parents get a little stressed having kids. I think he's elevated himself since he had his kid. It's amazing. He's playing for his kid. Something to motivate.
He'll be like Tom Brady, finding every reason to stay on the field.
You're right, Diggin. Tua is a rhythm passer, and he's going to get on a rhythm one of these times.
Trust me.
He's going to score big. He's going to score real big.
I promise you.
I still don't think he's hit his ceiling yet.
No, not yet. And I think Tua, by the way, I guarantee you he's home everyday training. I guarantee he's using these next 2 weeks. He knows what he has in front of him. He knows that he is making everybody look foolish and continue to show that he wants to be the franchise quarterback. He knew this year, and he's making everybody realize, you want to know what? Appreciate him. And what else should he be doing? Bobby, what should we be doing to Tua right now? Come on, Bobby. Come on.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Slow poke.
Praying? Oh, sorry. Acknowledge.
You're such a...
Sorry.
Wow. He is already on Florida time. He's already... There we go.
Well, let me make the soundbite. Hold on. Let me get the soundbite in there.
You have Miami?
Acknowledge me.
That should be his sign coming out. I swear to God, he's phenomenal. Bobby, Hank's going, what the heck is that? Guys, we're at 47.
Hank's so confused.
I'm sitting here going, you know what? I don't even know what you guys are doing.
WWE, you have to get used to it. We have a WWE show, so we have to talk about it. Let me ask you something. Because this guy who says, acknowledge me, Hank, is the number one superstar in wrestling, and he's at the top of his game, and so we're basically comparing Tua to him. We're heading to almost the 50th of the hour. We're going to be off in about 5-6 minutes. Hank, what are you doing with your bye week?
Well, in case you didn't hear, I got this new car, and I think I'm going to be having a little bit of fun. I have to take it for a drive or two without the wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means possible.
Watch out that I-95. Be careful of the I-95, okay?
Yeah, that means possible tickets. So what I do is I go up one side of the highway for a couple miles, turn around on the turnaround, and then I come back the other way. Then I do the turn back around again, and then I go fast.
Okay. So, Hank, every morning at 7 a.m. in Montreal, we do it. There's a radio station, the sports radio station here. There's a joke. He does the Florida report because Floridians have a tendency to do some really idiotic things, and a lot of them involve cars. I would not like him to be talking about you over the next week during the bye.
I don't play here. There's too much traffic. People cut in front of you. It's not like Oregon where you have like open couple miles and you can actually go a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, hopefully you'll get to see your buddy on the other side of this who doesn't want to show his face today. Honestly, though, we're heading in. Honestly, for the next rest of the season, honestly, the way they've been playing, they're on all cylinders. The one reason why I'm happy they got the bye when they did is that they're allowing players to get healthy. You don't know if Byron Jones will be back. Give X a chance to rest. Give Tua the chance to reset his batteries. Give everyone.
Byron Jones has me ticked off, so don't gloss over him.
I'm not. I'm just saying. But I would. But I said this on the show. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question quickly. Would you trade Emmanuel Ogbah because of the depth you have now at edge rusher for the second half of the season for a healthy 100% Byron Jones? I would. No matter how ticked off I am.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we might get surprised next week. You never know.
I doubt it. You're not going to trade a hurt player like that.
What do you mean trade him?
I wouldn't.
Wait, I didn't ask to trade him. What about trading? I'm not trading anybody.
You said, would you trade a player? You did say trade.
No. Would you trade? Would you sit Ogbah for a healthy Byron Jones? Meaning that if Ogbah is injured, I would be happy if Byron Jones was back. If someone told me, would you give up one of your edge rushers?
I'd be happy if Byron Jones is back, but the whole point is it's like he's never coming back. This is the same thing as whoever the other guy was that was hurt all the time. Wallace or somebody?
No, Will Fuller.
Fuller, is that who it was?
Yeah, but I have a feeling I think he wants to show his moxie. If he wants a contract next year, even if it's not with the Dolphins, he has to show something or else he won't get any money next year. Anyway, guys, we're at the 50th of the hour. Hank, any final words, any positives you want to share with us before we talk about the rest of what's coming up on the Fins Talk Network?
Well, I can tell you out there, folks, look, we only have so many games left, and I see the Bills being our biggest hurdle, with the Patriots being our second biggest hurdle. So, because that's the bad weather. The rest of it's all clear sailing. So, I think we're going to at least come in no shorter than 12. So, with that, fins up, everybody.
I predict that by the time we hit Buffalo, we're going to be 2 games up on Buffalo. You heard it here first. Everyone, Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to give our producer a little bit of a break for 8 to 10 minutes before the next show comes on. Don't forget to watch the 2 Joshes on the next show. They're going to have a lot of fun talking about all different sports. I'll be there. You be there. Let's drive in crazy. Guys, in honor of Steve Malloy, who's been saying this for weeks, Dolphins #1, first place, baby. All we can do is keep on going up.
Beast
Fins
in
up
the
all.
East.
Fins bandwagon.
Woo! Thanks for coming out, everybody.